Anna, I'm so happy to see you today. Can you share a bit about the challenges or struggles you were facing before we started working together?
When we met in February last year, I intuitively felt that you would be a good person to work with. Little did I know what I will encounter the following months. And I'm glad that I did. And I reached out and we made it happen because at that moment when I reached out to you, everything was quite good, quite okay. I was working on myself as I have been doing for the last 10 years in my life. I'm a coach myself, so I know how to self-coach, but I also know the value of coaching with someone else outside of the way you have been thinking and the way you have been supporting yourself so far, the different perspective that you can gain from another person. So from one side, I felt that you think very differently than me and you could be there for me. That was my intuition. And then when we started working together, it was very interesting timing, I will say, because for me, last year was the year that I felt that I was kind of giving exams for everything I worked on the last 10 years in my life. And it was very intense. It was a lot of things at the same time. And I cannot start saying how valuable it was for me to have you by my side in so many different ways, because we worked on my personal life stuff, but we also worked on my business. And in a beautiful way, you held space. You that were there to listen. You were there to support me and cheer me up, remind me to celebrate my wins, even celebrate me in a very intense way. For me at the time, I kind of felt very uncomfortable sometimes. And then you made me feel very comfortable celebrating myself. I definitely see this as a big win because I know how I felt in the first time and how I felt, when we're closing this collaboration. And it was not only that, but along the way, you reminded me my goals. You made me look back and see what I have achieved, many of the things that I took for granted or I didn't even remember, and, redefine, reassess the goals, question things that needed to be questioned. And overall, I would say being able to take distance and go on this walk with someone else for a change and feel listened and cared for. All of these events that happened in my life last year, many of them very intense, including a loss of a loved one. I feel grateful and blessed that I had someone to share and not dwell into my pain, but really take action and be able to, express what needed to be expressed and move on without rushing, because I think that's important. And many times you said things to me and about me that I felt you really get me. Oftentimes more than I felt with people that I know for many years. And even developing this feeling that all it takes is someone to listen to you and it already feels good and it feels better. And experiencing this acceptance, I think it was very beneficial for me.
Thank you for sharing. What did you feel was your biggest contribution in our progress together?
My contribution to this collaboration was to be honest and true to myself and to you, really sharing what is going on, really sharing my deepest thoughts, follow through on the action points, do the work. Because very little can happen if you don't do the work. Very little. Like you can have a nice session and have fun and connect, but progress is not made. At the end of the day, it was up to me.
I would love to follow up on what you already alluded to, which were sort of those end results that you felt or gained. What specific changes or improvements you've noticed since we started working together?
It's easier for me to find something for the business. It's really the part that you celebrated me and you reminded me that I need to celebrate my wins, because I have been one to do that for other people, but not very often or in such a consistent way for myself. I have been much more consistent after working with you. And not only that, but also the words that you use to
Mm.
describe me. It was very interesting for me because they were very accurate and very different from the ones that I would use. So that alone gives you a perspective about words, life experiences. On the business part, it was quite tangible because it showed me where, okay, I knew where I want to go. I know where I want to go. And we put down specific steps and I took actions on those. And that led to beautiful things like groups for coaching and people like, changing their life during our coaching, which I know that I needed a push to do. I know that you dared me and that you challenged me to do it now. So it started and then it developed. And then I'm still using the business plan we created because I still haven't done all of the things that I said. But it also helped me a lot to take decisions, for example, on the help that I need in my business with no second thought because I knew that I have thought about it already. We discussed it already. It was not a feeling that I had in the moment that I felt maybe busy or whatever that is. It was a well thought decision. We put it down in the business plan. So these type of skills I need in my business. And it made it easier to give people opportunities to help me out, to support me in my dream and my purpose. And I think that it was valuable on its own because it took away any unnecessary resistance from my side.
You discussed tangible results, but beyond tangible results, how do you feel you have grown and transformed or continued to grow and transform emotionally and or mentally through this process?
As I said in the beginning, the collaboration we had came in a timing in my life that there were a lot of circles closing basically for me. So it was very intense. It was all growth and I knew it from the beginning. I know this is how I see life. This is how I see challenges in life. So it was definitely a year of transformation, regardless a collaboration with you or not. But the difference is that with our collaboration, I feel the pain, the struggle, the resistance was less than it would be if I was going through all of it on my own. Because I know that I have Maz, that he will listen, care for me. And if I'm not focusing on the right thing at that moment, because it is very painful, he will remind me. And together we're gonna look at it. And I think that together is the key. It was the key for me. I am a person that have been growing and transforming the last 10 years constantly. And I know that this last year was the biggest cycle of my life. Like it was a huge quantum leap. And even seeing that I don't have to do it alone, and it's actually better with someone else who has the skills, who has the knowledge, who has the empathy to be there for you with a mindset that aligns with mine in the sense that I don't dwell in the past. I want to acknowledge everything that there is in the present and move on. It was priceless. I'm grateful.
I'm so happy to hear that. If someone is considering working with me but is on the fence, what would you say to them?
If someone is considering coaching with you and as you said is on the fence, I would say get down from the fence. And if you're truly willing to play the game, go and open the door. But you need to feel ready to do the work and make sure that you will have someone who is there for you, has your best interest. And I think this is all you can say, because if someone wants a lot of things to cover parts of his mind, to be okay with that, then they're not open to the process. And that's the other thing that I would say, trust the process, because the transformation in anyone's life comes sometimes slowly and sometimes very fast, but we never realize until we can look back what actually happened.
What made you decide to seek support and why did you choose to work with me?
In my case, I didn't look for support and I found you. I found you, I met you, and I felt you're a good person to work with. I didn't know why, to be honest. It was very intuitive. And I didn't even know what will follow up in my life that year because we met in the beginning of the year and then everything happened, like literally everything and things that I never experienced in my life, like a loss of a loved one. But what actually happened that year is that, it was the year that I decided I was already 6 months in working on my business, fully focused after leaving corporate. And at the same time, I had a lot of challenges in my personal life and family and personal stuff. And throughout those months, it was really beneficial for me to be able to work on all of these different areas of my life in parallel without losing focus of my business, without losing focus of where do I want to go, what do I want to achieve, being able to look back, celebrate my wins, look at what I can do better, re-envision things, because this also happened. I put some things down in the business plan and then I decided that's actually, it's not really interesting for me anymore. Things transformed with me. And as I was working on things, I saw actually this expresses me better better. And alongside, I was happy that I chose you to be my coach because you were there for me in all of these different areas and there to listen, but also to guide and see things with me. So yeah, I was not looking for someone. I just met you and I decided, yeah, let's try. And I'm happy that I did. I'm very happy that I did. I really don't know how this year would have developed without you by my side. It was very intense, and I don't want to go into details in my personal life, but because it doesn't matter as well. Everyone has things happening. Life happens for everyone, and my thing is not bigger than someone else's. You know, everyone has dreams, everyone takes risks. It doesn't matter. For me, it was a very intense year, and I feel blessed that I didn't go through it on my own.
Thank you for sharing your journey. It's been an absolute privilege and pleasure to work with you, to see your progress, and thanks for this interview.
Thank you.